I've come on a walk this AM just to get some fresh air and ground. I thought I'd bring you along with me because I also wanted to share some additional information about the video I shared yesterday talking about the Amanita muscaria mushroom, which is the fly agaric mushroom, which is that red one with the white dots that you see around Christmas time. Hi everyone. So I was sharing about the Amanita muscaria mushroom and basically how at Christmas time in the past people used to have this mushroom and it would basically get them to God and ascend them and make them enlightened masters. Hi everyone. And then so you feel free to watch the video if you haven't seen it. And people were saying, well, some people were asking how to do it, like what's the dose that you take and stuff. Some people said that they thought they were poisonous. So thanks guys. It's 9:15 here in the morning, or in the AM. We don't like to say the word morning because who's sad? Who's really mourning? So the Amanita muscaria, people were saying, is it poisonous? That was one of the things they were saying. And I wanted to basically address all these things. What else did people say? Some people said that it's like really bad to not glamorize, but like talk or promote about taking drugs or mushrooms that are meant to be poisonous online, and you shouldn't take them just because I've said, and that's kind of true. So I'm not, when I was sharing the information, it's not that I want you to start taking them, and this is all the things I wanted to address. So the first thing is there's plenty of ways to become enlightened, so you don't have to just take that magic mushroom in order to do so. Basically there's even a spell that can make you become enlightened. Now, enlightenment isn't something that you attain once you've meditated for 50 years or you've lived as a monk. Enlightenment, you can achieve it in 4 months. That's like a quick way of achieving enlightenment, but you can achieve enlightenment in 4 months if you really worked hard for it. You don't have to know a load of wisdom. You don't have to have meditated for 50 years. You don't have to have lived as a monk or anything. Anyone can attain enlightenment, but there are rules to get there, because you have to basically prime and prep your body to be alkaline enough, to be filled with enough chi, which is life force energy, and to be clean enough, which means you have to be vegan and also be clean as in washing your hands before you eat your food and washing your food and stuff. You know, like rid of parasites and stuff. So there's lots of different things you have to do to clean and prime and prep your body in order for it to actually become enlightened, which means what happens is when your body's in this prime state, then what happens is when you do something that will ascend your kundalini up to the top, which the mushroom does, which MDMA does, which spells can do, which going to certain megaliths can do, going into the Great Pyramid of Giza, I'm pretty sure, can raise your kundalini to the top. There's loads of different ways that you can raise your kundalini, but if you raise your kundalini up to the top and your body is primed for enlightenment, then you will become enlightened and you stay enlightened. And enlightenment basically means you like unlock dormant DNA, you illuminate your consciousness, you become a Christ consciousness in your vessel on this plane. You don't die, you don't age, people can't kill you, you become a god in you become your godlike self in this vessel. And also your soul becomes whole and holy, which means that you're not lacking in anything, and you basically ascend out the ego, so you can't you don't have negative emotional reactions to things anymore. You just live from a state of bliss and unconditional love rather than conditional love. So enlightenment is a true thing, and you can attain it if your body's primed and prepped enough and you ascend your kundalini up to the top. So I was talking about how at Christmas in the past people used to take these mushrooms as one of the ways that you would send your kundalini up to the top, but I wouldn't advise you to use that as your way to becoming enlightened, because there are lots of kind of side effects to that mushroom as well. So when I once had it, I just felt really drunk, really drunk, and it didn't take me to God, it didn't take me to the higher realms, because my body wasn't primed and prepped enough for it. So it didn't enlighten me, and so it can be hit and miss. Some people have good experiences on it and some people don't. So that if my body was clean enough, it would have ascended me up to the higher planes. And when you're vegan and you take substances, plant medicines and stuff, you go to higher planes than you do if you're not vegan. So this is all just stuff that I've learned from experience. So taking that mushroom, I wouldn't advise that as being your route to enlightenment. If you did feel like you wanted to try enlightenment, maybe you've done it in a past life, maybe you're drawn to it for whatever reason, and maybe because I had a friend who followed a Buddhist path, and they obviously talk about enlightenment loads, and she was kind of not really sure really what enlightenment was. It was kind of a bit elusive, and you just get there at some point, and also people don't really know if they can achieve it. Some people think you need to live thousands of lifetimes trying to attain enlightenment in order to actually achieve it. So there's loads of myths around it to make people or block people from wanting to become enlightened. So I'm telling you, you can if you want to, and you can do it in 4 months. It took me 3 years. It took me 3 years on the path. But what I'm saying is you can achieve it in this lifetime, and it doesn't have to take thousands and thousands of lifetimes reincarnating. I'm just going to show you this. Turn my camera around. Hi everyone, peace and blessings. Yeah, beautiful view. So that's enlightenment, and there's plenty of ways you can become enlightened. I actually ended up becoming enlightened through a spell, so you don't have to take any plant medicines or anything. The spell is in the book, the Matrix Magic Leo book, which I'm selling at the minute on discount for £3.33. But it's only the PDF version, because we've updated the PDF version with a new chapter and some new spells, and it's only a very recent update, and we wanted to just get it out there, so we're doing it as just a cheaper price, just the PDF, £3.33. You can get it in the link in my profile if you wanted to have a look. And on Amazon as well, you can actually order it and then send it back or get a refund if you didn't like it. And if you just, or you could also PayPal me and I'll send it you in an email. The spell is at the front of the book. It's in literally the introduction, but it's kind of secretly hidden in there, because it doesn't say this is an enlightenment spell. It's just there for you to read and say, and if your body was primed enough, it would make you enlightened. But you need to be, like I said, you need to be vegan, you need to be clean, washing your food, washing your hands, abstaining the orgasm. So you need to be building as much chi as you can, which basically means, I'm going to have this nice lake view behind me actually. Abstain from the orgasm, so don't be orgasming and losing your life force and your energy. You need to be saving it and building it. So eating raw foods fast tracks you, doing Tai Chi and things like that, going to megaliths, holding crystals, grounding to the earth. These different things help you build your chi quicker, but you need to have enough chi, which is enough energy and life force in you, to actually allow your kundalini to go all the way up in the first place. Because when you're filled with light, which is the life force and the chi, all your chakras are filled with enough light that when your kundalini energy, which is like a serpent at the base of your spine, when it arises up to the top, all the chakras need to be charged and buzzing it up so it goes right the way up to the top. So if you don't have enough life force in you, it won't ascend high enough to actually make you enlightened. So you can lose your enlightenment as well. If I ate an animal product now, I would lose my enlightenment. If I orgasmed too many times, I would lose my enlightenment, because it's all about, this is what the fall from grace was. Humanity, when we lived in the Garden of Eden, we were all enlightened, and then we either orgasmed or ate some animals or whatever it is, and we descended in consciousness. And that's why people are born in sin now, but the word sin actually comes from the word sine wave, because the sine wave is basically the back and forth of being in the ego or your emotions. And so we lost our enlightenment, but this is like the time to start getting it back now. So every time like the ascended masters would come back down to earth, like Jesus and Buddha and Muhammad and stuff, they would come down to teach us how to become enlightened again, and teach us how to basically ascend back up to the heavens and become gods and goddesses in the stars with them. Because if you don't become enlightened, you can quite easily get stuck in the cycle of reincarnation on the earth plane. And so when you become enlightened, it automatically cuts off all your karma, it cancels and negates and deletes it, and you can't, you don't get stuck back here anymore. You actually just ascend right up to the top afterwards. So this time, the age of Aquarius, it's about the age of knowing, or I like to say yesing, because it's about yes rather than no. It's about the age of knowing God, knowing enlightenment, and actually experiencing and achieving these things for ourselves. And that's why, so like, this is called the Great Awakening. So many people are waking up, so many people are putting their health first now, and so it's like people naturally are leaning or walking their way towards becoming a race of enlightened masters again. That's kind of what I hope for everyone. There's some really nice birds on that lake there. And so it's just about living the I call it the life of light in order to achieve it. So why would you not take these mushrooms then, you know, just in general? Because some people like to take them to have a spiritual experience, or like I said, like a lot of plant medicines are here to help us understand God, because they take us to the higher planes. Mostly if you are vegan, you have better experiences, but the reason why I wouldn't advise doing any of that right now is because maybe a few years ago, yeah, but right now is not the time to be messing around trying to have spiritual experiences with substances like that, because what happens is they open up your auric field, and then they open you up basically for psychic attack. Now, what happened over the past few years with the lockdowns, all those towers that went up, all that technology that people have been using now, and they've been using it to cast black magic on people, and to basically try and manipulate our energy and take our light. And so it's likely, or it's more likely, that if you're opening yourself up and kind of like tripping on these things in this time, all the energies around you, all the demons around you, this is a spiritual war, and this is literally the crux of it. Like, this is right now is the absolute, you know, the end finale thing that you see in films where it's everyone's a go-go, let's go. So we need you to be here and present, and like focused, and like doing your work, like being in the light and thinking light and speaking light and fighting the night, and being aware if you've got black magic on you or a bad spell on you, and being able to get it off and remove them, rather than just like escaping through substances to other realms when we need you here and your presence here right now. Your presence here is really, really powerful. You just being here right now, your conscious awareness, focused in this present moment right here, right now. It's like your energy just channels straight in. And a lot of us are, well, we all have God's energy within us because of our souls. And so when you're here and present, you're radiating God's energy within. And if you're not, if you're radiating bad energy, it's most likely because you've eaten crap, you've drank alcohol, you thinking negatively, someone's put bad spells on you, or you've picked up bad energy from someone else. And this is why you need to be on top of your energy and cleanse and clean yourself, because if you've got bad energy, you naturally will be radiating that out, and if you're not aware of it, you're basically you're not helping the spiritual cause. So a few years ago you could have experimented and it's great, but now I would advise not to be experimenting with things for now until the battle is under and the light is won, kind of thing, because you might get psychic attacks and it might ruin your experience. So, I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I wanted to share. Let me just see what you guys have said. I'm about to take shrooms. Do you really think I shouldn't do that even if I believe I'm protected and my light is strong enough? So, what I would say about shrooms is, I think microdosing is alright. And yeah, the antique writer, so putting on like high frequency music, be aware of who you're doing it with, put sage on or incense sticks and things like that, just make it a really nice vibe. I think microdosing is okay, but I think if you're going to do bigger amounts, it's possible you'll be okay, but also at the same time it's a bit more risky. So I think that was all that I wanted to share. So have an awesome ray, friends. Let me just see if there's anything else. Yeah, have an awesome ray. Thanks for joining me to Ray. And I will see you soon.